Morning viewers, and welcome to another Onside SA Soccer Show. Joining me has been the case in the last couple of weeks is our Manning Rangers league winner Gavin Radford. Gav.
Morning, Butch.
Can you believe it? English football is back.
Jeez, but it goes so quick. I mean, sometimes you're thinking, what am I going to do for 2 months? But time races by, and here we are. We're looking forward to another season. Yep. Looking at all the players getting bought and sold, and hoping the squads are ready.
Yeah, before we go through to Steve, just to let everybody know, our last one standing competition starts in the second week of the Premiership, which is the 16th, 17th. The first week we have two guys left, Henry Nordie and Bradley Parker. They will vie to see who wins the overseas trip. We'll give them 1 week to themselves, and then we will start. Now, Gav, I was with our previous winner, Hilton Wits, yesterday. He's looking at all the games. He's got a lot to say.
Hilton's quite knowledgeable, but sometimes I think he's a little bit out in the football world. Yeah. We'll give him the horse racing, we'll take the soccer. Yeah,
well, good luck to him, and see what game. He wants to go to London, spend a few days there, so we'll sort something out. We cross over to our UK correspondent, Stevie B. Big Fulham fan. Obviously, the championship starts this weekend, so we'll get information from him. Morning, Steve. Are you there?
I'm here. Morning, Buzz. Morning, Gav.
Sad to say that Fulham in the championship starts this weekend.
Indeed, it does. It's come around very soon, but I'm not sure as a squad we're quite ready. But I think, like a lot of the championship teams, we go at the weekend with the transfer window still open. So I think there's going to be a lot of clubs will still be looking to bring players in, mainly on loan, I would think, over the next week or so. But I'm looking forward to it now.
No, you're right. Steve, just to kick off with Harry Maguire, we'll start with him. What is going on?
Look, I think the ball is in United's court pretty much. I think it seems fairly clear that Leicester have dug their heels in. They want. They're valuing him at 90, but I think they'll take 80. Yeah. United, it's simple. If they want him, they're going to have to stump up the cash. If they don't, they're going to be in the same situation as last year, where they leave it to the last minute and they run out of options. So he evidently sort of didn't make himself available for training earlier in the week, Harry Maguire. So his mind is, I think he desperately wants to go now. You just think that, if this is going to happen, it's going to happen in the next few days. Leicester are eyeing up either Tarkowski or Lewis Dunk. They'll have the money to spend. I think both of those clubs will sell to Leicester if they come calling, and then there's a bit of a knock-on effect after that. But I really think the ball's in United's court, and with Eric Bailly getting injured as well, I just can't see how United can start the season again with the same centre half pairing.
Yeah, I agree. I just can't understand. It'll cost us around 50 million not being in the Champions League, and if we don't make it next year, just go and spend the extra 10 million, get a decent centre half, and then at least start from there. That's my belief on that.
Yeah.
On to Lukaku Dybala, the deal. The swap, I see the Italians are in Manchester trying to finalise it. What's the latest with that?
So I think that would be I think that would be the perfect scenario for them both. The only thing is, I'm reading this morning, is that the stumbling block could be that Paulo Dybala wants at least 350,000 a week, which puts him on more than Pogba, less than Sanchez, as much as And this is the problem we've been discussing for weeks and weeks. Is the whole Sanchez scenario has put their wage structure out to kilter. So Dybala's people are going there saying, well, if you're going to play Sanchez $500,000, you're going to pay our man $350,000. So I think it would be. I think Dybala, is a very mobile forward. He can play anywhere in the front three or even just behind. He's not your out and out classic number 9, but he's got a good goal scoring record in Italy. I think that would be quite a good move. I'm surprised that Juventus are prepared to allow him to go for Lukaku, but
the money is always the key, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But otherwise, I can't believe that United want to be stuck with Lukaku. He obviously isn't, who Solskjaer wants as his number 9 for the season. Yeah. But they seem to be digging their heels in over selling him outright for less than sort of 70 million. So we'll see. I think that if that's going to happen, that should happen in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I agree. I just can't believe that they got rid of, or Everton signed Moises Keane. I think he's a nice centre forward. I'd rather have him than Lukaku.
Well, I think a lot of when I was sort of reading, a lot of Juventus fans are very disappointed they let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just coming to the fore. I mean, he's 19 years old. He's an international. He's got a lot of pace and strength. Sort of perfect signing for Everton, I think, to boost their attacking options.
Yeah, I watched Juventus a lot last year, being a Ronaldo fan, and he came on fairly often. And he's got a far better touch than Lukaku. And he's a young player. I just don't see, was it 33 million for him? That's a great signing for Everton.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, I think Everton, would have got a bit of a coup there, especially as, he obviously looks at Everton and thinks, look, they're not playing in Europe, but they've obviously got potential. So, I think that's a good move for Everton, and obviously it's good. It'd be exciting to see him in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think if ever there's a team that could sneak into the top 6 this year, I think it's Everton above Leicester and Wolves. Don't know how you think about that,
Yeah,
Steve.
no, I think so. I think so. I think that Wolves. I mean, of course, everyone by surprise last year played sort of above themselves. I mean, they haven't really strengthened at the moment. Leicester, if they let Maguire go, are they any stronger? They'll be there or thereabouts in the top 10. But I think you're right. I think if Everton start well, I think they're going to be pushing for a top 6 place.
Now, Nicolas Pepe to Arsenal, is that a done deal?
I don't think it's quite done, but I think it's almost there. And it's interesting that they're it looks like the sum for that is about 72 million, which they probably could have got Zaha from. But again, my understanding is Lille are prepared to take the transfer fee by instalments, and Palace weren't prepared to do that for Zaha. So with Zaha, he's finding himself at the moment. It looks like one of the only options for him is that Napoli have come calling, and whether or not that suits him, I'm not sure it does. But he hasn't really figured much pre-season since he's got back. I think he had his heart set on going to Arsenal. And it's just. You think it's just crazy that they just couldn't find the funds to buy him outright.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And last but not least on the transfer front, what's happening with Leroy Sané at Man City?
It's all gone quiet. I think I saw last night that one of the Bayern Munich sort of directors has issued an apology to Man City for sort of almost saying that they've signed him when that hasn't happened. I'm not sure that's going to happen now. I think City don't really want him to go, and if they did, it was going to take close to 3 figures to buy him. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if that doesn't happen now.
All right, Steve. On to the Championship this week. I've got a few games to ask you of.
Sure.
Fulham get off to a good start at Barnsley.
Well, I think there are 2 things there. One is, without doubt, I think we've got as good a front 3 as any team in the Championship. And I think if they click and fire, then there's goals. What does worry me still is that we haven't strengthened the defence. So, I think that's my understanding is that we are looking at bringing in 2 or 3 players over the next week, as other teams will. So I think it's going to be a tight game. Barnsley didn't lose at home last season in the league, so it's I think if we are going to do it, it's going to be close. I think we might just edge it by a goal.
Yeah, is Mitrovic going to stay? I read an article, going to make him the highest paid player?
I hope so. Look, he's going to, he certainly shouldn't be complaining about the lack of service with Cavaliero on one wing and Knockout on the other. Yeah. And I think the 3 of them will combine and will score a lot of goals this season.
A team that's tipped to be in the playoffs anyway is Brentford. You think they'll be too good for Birmingham?
Yeah, I think they will. It's interesting because Brentford, I'd say, have strengthened. I mean, their star forward Neil Maupay hasn't played pre-season. He wants to leave. A lot of clubs are circling, but what they tend to do is unearth, sort of players that you've never really heard of from abroad.
Yeah.
The one signing they made, which sort of surprised me, which is not a typical Brentford sort of player, is Pontus Jansson.
Yeah,
but I guess
Leeds,
that there's no question you know what you're going to get with him, and he's a big, solid, strong centre half. But they will be. But Birmingham on the other side have just sold their star forward Shea Adams, and they're looking desperately to try and bring somebody in. I think I'd be surprised if Brentford don't win this one at home on the first day.
Okay, and how do you see my boys Preston going at Millwall?
Well, Millwall have actually had an injection of money in the summer, and they brought some players in. I think they're going to not struggle as much as they did last year. I think it remains to be seen if sort of Preston going to sort of miss Callum Robinson. Obviously, David Nugent's in. I think that's going to be close, but I've got a feeling that could be a home win there.
Thanks, Steve. Now, a team that was tipped last year, Stoke City. You think they got off to a good start against QPR?
Yeah, I think, QPR, let's look at QPR. QPR have basically got a brand new side in. They've had a lot of changes there. A lot of players sold their best player at the beginning of the summer, Luke Freeman.
Yeah.
They've brought players in, QPR. I mean, they haven't got any money to spend, but they look as if they've sort of been sort of quite canny in the transfer market, and they've got a good manager.
Yeah, Mark Warburton.
I like Mark Warburton. So I think they'll just about sort of hold their own. They're not going to. I don't think they'll feature in the top 10. Stoke, on the other hand, I mean, again, they really didn't do well at all last year. As they should have done. I think they'll get off to a better start. I still can't see Stoke in the top 6 though, as things stand. But I don't think they'll be far off.
Okay, now a team that got relegated last year, Cardiff. I see they signed a centre forward yesterday from Heidenheim, the Bundesliga.
Yeah, well, they needed to. They sold Kenneth Zahori to West Brom. So I think they went on record saying they had to bring somebody in. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. I'm not sure automatic promotion, but they're going to be top 6.
You think they'll beat Wigan?
I think they'll win. I think they'll win at Wigan. Wigan are a funny team. You never know what you're going to get with them. But I think Cardiff might just be a little bit too strong for them.
Okay, one of the big games is on Sunday. Notts Forest against West Brom. Saturday night. How do you see West Brom?
Again, West Brom have had to let sort of players go. They couldn't afford to keep Dwight Gale, Rondon went. Craig Dawson's left them, but they brought, I say, Zahori from Cardiff. They brought Romain Sawyers in as a good attacking midfield player from Brentford. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. Forest are interesting. I mean, Forest were thought going to do much better last season, but really sort of fell away, and they've sold one of their best sort of good midfield players, Ben Osborne, to Sheffield United. I think that's going to be a really close game. I think it'll be a tight game. It'll be good to see, whether either one of them shows any real potential. I think that's going to be close, maybe a draw or possibly an away win. I think West Brom was strong on the road last year. It was their home form let them down.
Bristol City versus the Championship favourites Leeds.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be interesting to see how Leeds get off to a start. I mean, everyone thought at one point they were going to win the league last year, and they just fell away. They've strengthened a little. They've brought in Helder Costa from Wolves on loan. They've managed to bring Jack Harrison back from Man City on loan, and even though they sold Jack Clark to Tottenham, they've got him back on loan. So they've got a very young and sort of attacking forward line. It's whether or not they don't. Their mindset is such that they don't let what happened to them affect them. I think that they're going to do well. I think that they are in my top 2. So Bristol City haven't really strengthened. There's a danger they might lose Adam Webster to Brighton for could be a Championship record fee if what we're hearing is correct. So I think Leeds will be too strong for them.
And Monday night's game, Steve, relegated Huddersfield Town against Derby.
Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield just sort of sold one of their best players to Bournemouth, Philip Billing. I think they'll just be a little bit too strong for Derby. Derby haven't strengthened. To me, their key players last year were sort of Harry Wilson, Mason Mount, Tamori, all on loan. None of whom are there now this season. They haven't brought any real strength in. I think I don't think they'll struggle to do what they did last year. I'm going for a home win there.
All right, Steve, you mentioned one of your 2 teams. Who's your tips to win the league?
Leeds to win the league. And if we can bring in the defensive midfielder or the centre half that we're looking at, I think that we could finish second. It's going to be tight. I think we'll be top 6 certainly. But I think at the moment, the bookies have got Leeds 1, Fulham 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be very close to that.
Okay, Steve. We end off with the Community Shield. Obviously, Wembley on Sunday. Liverpool upset Man City?
Look, anything can happen. I would be surprised if they did. Obviously, they've just got their front 3 back, literally, in the last week or so. I just think that City, might just be a little bit too strong. I don't think it means that much, other than a bit of sort of pride. Liverpool haven't brought anybody in the summer, really. Obviously, they've got young Harvey Elliott from Fulham, but they've already said he's probably going to go out on loan. It would be interesting to see how both teams go, but I think City will be too strong.
Yeah, so do I. Steve, thank you very much. Keep well and
Pleasure.
Enjoy the Ashes.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
All the best. Well, Gav, if people wanted information on the Championship, that's
he's
good
the right
guide.
man. He's the right man to go to. He's really in-depth information, a wealth of information from him. So, he's got to pick his brain every week and follow some of those tips.
We start this week with on the punting side with the Community Shield on Sunday, 4 o'clock our time. Liverpool versus Man City.
Well, I wish this game would be played about 6 months' time. Maybe the Christmas period or something where the teams are at full strength and they're really on top of their game. I heard Klopp saying the other day that it's not an important game. But I see it as a game for the fans to see your new players. It's a bit of match fitness for the guys, get your formation set up. And it's a bit disappointing hearing the coaches say he's not really interested, doesn't mean anything to him. I think it's a little bit of bragging rights and a little bit of a chance to get your foot in the door and say, yeah, we are, we're ready for the league. I know Liverpool haven't done well in their pre-season. I think they've won 1 out of 6. I think they've had a lot of players who are still coming back, and I think their forward line needs a bit of strengthening. I'm leaning towards a draw in this game because I think both teams will be played at a slow pace. Just to get the feel, it might be one of those hot summer days in England, so it could be a draw this game.
I disagree. I think Man City will skin them alive. I just think you look at Liverpool, they rely on their front three to close down. Watch Firmino was on last night. He played half an hour, took him off. Salah was on for an hour. I don't know. I get worried about Liverpool.
Those players have had a lot of soccer. It's almost like the World Cup being played all over again because they go to the African Cup of Nations, they go to these Brazilian competitions that they have. So, I mean, some players need that extra rest, and you've got to nurse them. But you've seen in the league table, you can't afford to slip up from word go. You're winning the league with 90 points nowadays. So you've got to be on top of your game, and you start the league on the back foot with 1 or 2 losses in the first month, and you're behind the 8 ball right through the whole season. So
I just think Kevin De Bruyne has had a disastrous last season. I think he's due to step up. The championship starts on Friday, where newly promoted Luton Town host Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough fired Tony Pulis last year, and the ex-England centre-half Jonathan Woodgate's taken over. Can they get off to a good start?
Well, I've been looking at their pre-season games. I don't think they've done too well. I think they've won 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. They've conceded just about every game. Middlesbrough should be one of those teams that should be knocking the door to get back up again. But they just haven't fired. I mean, 15-10 is a very good price, but in this league you get a good price every week on the teams that you like. You would think they would beat a Luton Town, but away from home to start, maybe I will go with a draw.
Going for the draw. Well, Luton won the league last year, unbeaten last year. So if it's for me, 18-10, but I agree, draw, keep it tight, give nothing away. I think Fulham will murder Barnsley. Barnsley, 14 players that have come and gone. They finished second last year. They didn't lose a game at Oakwell. I just think Fulham up front will be a handful.
You get a team that gets relegated, and you're hoping that they don't lose too many players. But it seems like they've kept their forward line intact, so that's a big plus for them. Most teams have a squad of about 18 players. They must probably got up to about 23. So that would be a quality setup and a quality team. It's hard to look past a team that hasn't got beat. You get a culture of winning at home all the time. It's hard to break teams down. But on squad performances, you would think that Fulham could get something out of this game.
I think Fulham 12-10, good thing. Now, another team that got promoted by the playoff is Charlton Athletic. They go to a Blackburn team who've added a few key cogs. 8-10?
Yeah, I like Blackburn. I think that last year they went through a bit of a patch where they were coming up in the league and then they fell away. Then they put a good back end of the season together. I think Blackburn too good. I think good price 8-10.
So do I. Now, one of the teams that we mentioned earlier is in the running. They've signed 4 players over 2 million, and that's Brentford. As Steve said, cash injection. Now, Birmingham, they lost their manager Gary Monk. They didn't like the way they were going. They sold Che Adams for 15 million to Southampton. 7-10 for me, Gav.
Yeah, I got burnt a few times on Brentford last year, but I think if you buy a few players in the league that can strengthen your team in that division, gives you a good foot in the door. And starting the season at home, I think they could sneak this game. Birmingham never too easy to beat, but I think at home form will stand up to them.
Strangely, Birmingham's away form was better than their home form, but it's 7-10 Brentford all day for me. On to the second page where my boys Preston North End go to Millwall. We sold our key striker, top goal scorer last year to Sheffield United. We're so organised at the back. Hopefully we can get a point here, Gav.
Yeah, I think your form away from home was excellent last year. I wouldn't say it was good, I think it was excellent. The Millwall team at home, very hard to beat. Strong home form lines for them. Yeah, a tough game. You're looking at home team versus away form. I'm going to lean towards Millwall to get a result here, 16-10. That could be a good value bet.
Yeah, I think 21-10. The draw's got everything written all over it. Now, 2 teams that haven't really done much in the off-season. Reading's key signing is Charlie Adam from Stoke, the ex-Liverpool player. Sheffield Wednesday lost Steve Bruce. Do you think that'll have an effect early on?
I'm hoping not to. You don't want to see teams start using complaints like we lost our coach and that was a performance issue. But both teams, I mean, Reading were quite poor last year.
Yeah.
I think it was Jumpstamp that took them for a
got
while.
into
They were a poor team last year. I'm leaning towards a draw in this game. Maybe Sheffield Wednesday in the draw.
Yeah, they still got Jordan Rhodes, big centre forward. They won 4 of the 5 pre-season games. They beat 1 or 2 decent teams. I just think if 18-10, if you're looking for an interest, win and draw Sheffield United.
100%.
But they're 18-10, they're my lurker for the week. Now Stoke City, they've still got England's goalkeeper in the squad, Jack Butland, Sam Vokes up front, Benica Phobie, against a QPR team who've got 14 players that they've signed in the off-season.
They're going to do a Fulham and Aston Villa scenario where they buy all the players.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Stoke. Last year they were a bit disappointed. I think they felt the effects of getting relegated. It's set them back quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think 8-10 is a good price for Stoke, and I think I'm going to follow Stoke at home this year. I think they could have a good season.
Yeah, the new Nathan Jones, the new manager, he's cleared a few out. He's got his team. He's been there now. It's his second season. I agree. I think Stoke will be in the playoffs. Now Swansea City was my best bet of the weekend. I know they sold Daniel James for 15 million to Man United, but they sold their 25 goal scorer from last year, Ollie McBurney, yesterday to Sheffield United for close on 20 million. Don't know. That's got.
They must have some plans in the pipeline to buy somebody else coming back. And if you're getting 20 million for a player in the first division, I also made Swansea one of the best bets of the weekend. I think 9-10 is a good price. Hull was flattering to deceive. Another team, they put a good run together, then just fell flat to come back end of the season. I'm looking at Swansea to win convincingly.
Yeah, I just think Jared Bowen, the guy that even Spurs looked at, the young Hull City winger. I think both teams to scores at aim are there, but 9-10 I can't take, especially without their centre forward. The final page on the championship, we have Wigan at home to Cardiff City. As I mentioned to Steve, they signed a German striker yesterday. Neil Warnock looking to get off to a good start.
Yeah, I think they will get off to a good start. Like Steve was right. I mean, Wigan, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
One week they're up, next week they're down, then they're scoring goals, and they're behind again. I think Cardiff will be a good price, 14-10 away from home. I think that could be a value bet away from home. You don't normally take the 14, 15-10s away from home in this league, but I think that's a good bet, Cardiff.
Wigan's got a dodgy pitch because they play rugby league on there, so it's normally a bumpy surface. But Cardiff are a direct style team, and Neil Warnock
will be having the guys fired up for the game.
Now, this is, as Steve mentioned earlier, Forest, West Brom, 2 teams that I think, well, they were close last year. West Brom got beaten in a penalty shootout by Aston Villa. This is a funny game, Gav. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I spoke to Mervyn Umflesh this morning. He's a big Forest boy, and he's a bit worried about the season again. I like West Brom just on pedigree from where they come from and the type of players they have. Forest flattered to deceive last year. I had a couple of bets with them where I was sitting comfortably with money and they fell flat. They tend to sit with you sometimes when you want to have a bet on them. I'll be leaning with West Brom in the draw. Yeah,
they've got a new manager, Sabri Lamucci, who replaced Martin O'Neill. So I think they'll come out firing Forest. I just worry about West Brom losing Rondon and losing Jay Rodriguez. But I'd give them a couple of weeks before I emptied out on West Brom. Forest in the draw for me there. Now, Bristol City Leeds. If the deal goes through where Bristol City lose their big centre half, I think 14-10 Leeds is a good thing.
Yeah, Leeds looked like the bet of the day. The pedigree they showed some good form last year. Good, nice big squad of players they've got. Yeah. I think 14-10, like you say, is a good value bet away from home.
And last but not least, Monday night, Huddersfield 12-10 to beat Derby.
Yeah, I like Huddersfield. I think they'll get promoted back straight up again. I think they're a good squad.
Yeah.
12-10 at home. Anything over even money at home, I will be taking. And I think Huddersfield win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I saw all the signings that they had on loan with Frank Lampard. He's gone. Fans aren't happy with what they got in the squad. I agree. 12-10 Huddersfield's in my bets. On to the PSL. We won't mention the Carling Club of last weekend to keep all our Chiefs supporters happy. Baraka opened the season against Benny McCarthy's Cape Town City. Upset?
Difficult team to beat, Baraka. It's a long travel for City to go and play them. So you've got to get on a plane, get off, then you've got to travel by car or by bus. I don't know how they're doing it nowadays. But it's a long trip out there. You would think the squad of City would be good. Yeah. I know Benny's been touted out for a higher position somewhere in the SAFA rankings. Baraka, tough to beat. I'm actually going to go with Baraka in the draw, yeah.
Okay, now last year, you believe the stat, they won 2 of the 15 games at home. They had a far better away record, but they always score, and you never know with Benny's team. I think 19-10's a player. Now your old teammate Clint Larson, he's taken over Chipper. I fancy him to get off to a winning start.
Yeah, I think he's got a perfect opportunity to get off to a start here. Like you say, he's got a couple of new players. He's playing at home. He's got a promoted team coming to them, so it's all new for them.
Yeah.
They don't really know the type of quality that Stellenbosch is going to bring to them, but I think Chipper will be too good for them. Yeah. And if Clinton really wants to have a good season, he's got to put these guys away early.
Yeah, Steve Barker did a great job getting Stellenbosch promoted. I think he's got an uphill task. He'll take a point, obviously. Now, Sundowns against Supersport. Obviously, it's a Swanee derby, first game. Sundowns too good?
You know, Sundowns are the Man Cities of our league. I think they play soccer. You know, they create chances. I always, out of all the games, I like to watch them play because they don't give the ball away as much as the other teams. And I can see that Pitso has done an excellent job there. Sundowns 7-10. I think you anchored in all your bets. They will score.
Yeah, and the last 15 times they've met, Sundowns have won 11, drawn 3, and only lost 1. So you never know. Derbies are close, but Sundowns for me. Now, Pirates last week were impressive. I know Chiefs missed a sitter when it would have made it 1-1. Celtic have made 10 new signings, surely 6-10 Pirates.
Yeah, Pirates, I mean, on their performance last week, they should have this game cold.
Yeah.
Celtic, I mean, they went through a patch last year where they had some problems, and then they came good again late in the season. Yeah. To buy 10 players and try and blend them into your squad, I mean, it takes a lot of work to do that, to get your formation set up, players to buy into what you're trying to do at the club. So Pirates are really settled. They really gave the Chiefs a run around at times in that game. I think they'll be one of the contenders come into the year, so 6-10 definitely Pirates.
Yeah, I agree. It's 19-10 Pirates to win by more than 1 goal. So if you fancy Pirates, have a look at that bet. Our second page has our local team, AmaZulu. Hard to beat at Kingswell Atini. Won the last 3 home meetings against Wits. 19-10.
Yeah, I think the second last game of last season they played Wits and beat Wits.
Yeah.
I think Gavin was coming down fighting for the league, and AmaZulu put them away.
Yeah.
Tough game. I think Wits will be a lot more ready this year. I think Gavin, he doesn't like to lose. We don't be talking about referees again because there always seems to be in his conversation after the game. Just have a good game. AmaZulu will be very competitive. But pedigree and who I think will be on the top of the league will be Wits. I'm going to lean towards Wits to get a result early in the season.
And one thing about Gav, his teams normally come out firing.
Yeah, he's always got them ready.
Kingswell Atini and Mlazi is a difficult place to play. Another difficult place to play is Toyondo. Black Leopards against Polokwane. Sure, upset in the making.
This should be a classic game of two teams having a full go at each other. They just love to score goals and entertain the crowds. And I think the crowds get out there and support them out there. So, get to the guys, go out there and watch a good game. Polokwane City, some of the goals they scored last year are fantastic. 40-yarders, screamers. Leopards always hard to beat on the ground. It's going to be hot. It's going to be dusty. Ball's going to be bouncing everywhere. You know, this is going to be a close game. I wouldn't go too many goals in the game, but I'm going to lean towards Black Leopards to get a result.
Now remember, Polokwane finished 5th last year.
Tough game. It's a tough game this to call, but I'm going to lean towards the home team.
Okay, I think both teams to score. I saw that 12-13-10 was the play, but I like Polokwane. They always have a full go. KZN Derby, Golden Arrows against Maritzburg. And looking at the stats, Maritzburg haven't beat them in the last 6 meetings. Is this a chance?
Yeah, they've got to spread that enthusiasm that they showed at the end of last season where they were fighting tooth and nail to get a result to stay up. They showed all the qualities in doing that. I think they've lost one defender at the back. Yeah. He's gone to Joburg to play for one of the top teams. So I hope that hasn't hurt them at the back. But Golden Arrows, I mean, tough to beat in Durban. Yeah. This is going to be a really good game. Golden Arrows, I'll be leaning with win and draw Golden Arrows. Okay. Tough game to call.
Yeah, Maritzburg for me, especially. I like Eric Tinkler, good coach. Last but not least, Highlands versus Chiefs.
You know, I've got no confidence in Chiefs, and it showed last week in our best bet in Pirates to beat them. Yeah. I'm going to lean towards Highlands at a nice price at 19-10. People are backing Chiefs purely on the reputation that is Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah. They're totally off form, so I'm going to go Highlands Park as a value bet, top value bet, 19-10.
And can you believe it? Highlands finished above Chiefs in the league last year, finished 7th over
not making top 8. If that happens again this year, I could be predicting that the Kaizer Chiefs coach will be the first one fired this year.
Yeah, I think you get a reaction. I just think that the fans will demand it. Training intensity this week will be better. Highlands not the easiest teams to play. I fancy Chiefs to make a comeback. On to our exotics for the weekend. And we start with our Soccer 6. I've gone the field in the Baroka Cape Town City game. I've banked Chipper United to beat Stellenbosch. I've sided with Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Supersport United. And I think Orlando Pirates will be too good for Bloem Celtic. And I end off with the field in the Man United AC Milan friendly. Likewise, the AmaZulu Bidvest Wits clash, 162 Rand. Our second soccer six, which is the championship, I've banked Brentford to beat Birmingham City. I've gone with Sheffield Wednesday to win or draw at Reading. I've banked Stoke City to beat QPR. I've gone Swansea City, win and draw at home against Hull City, and I've ended off with a field in the Wigan Athletic Cardiff City game and the Millwall Preston fixture, 2-1-6. On to our soccer 10. I've gone the field in the Baraka Cape Town City game. I've banked Chipper United to beat Stellenbosch. Mamelodi Sundowns to beat Supersport United. I've got Brentford to win at home against Birmingham City. I've gone the field in the Millwall Preston clash. Our second page, I've banked Stoke City to win at home against QPR. I've gone Swansea City, win and draw at home against Hull City. I've sided with Cardiff City to get a good result at Wigan. I've banked Orlando Pirates to beat Bloem Celtic, and I've gone the field in the Amazulu Bidvest Wits game, 2-1-6. On to our soccer 13, I've gone Falkensbergs, win and draw at home against Helsingborg. I've banked Ostersons to beat AFC Eskilstuna. I've gone Dalkurd to beat Young Kopping Sodra. I've sided with league leaders Varberg's Bois to get a good result at Degerfors. I've banked Fulham to beat Barnsley. Blackburn Rovers to win at home against Charlton. Likewise Brentford to win at home against Birmingham City. The second page, I've gone Preston to get a good result at Millwall. I've sided with Sheffield Wednesday, win and draw at Reading. I've banked Stoke City to beat QPR. I've gone Swansea City, win and draw at home against Hull City. I've gone with Cardiff City to get a good result at Wigan. And I've gone the field in the Nottingham Forest West Brom match, 326 Rand. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. We start in the championship where I've gone Blackburn to beat Charlton, Brentford to beat Birmingham. I've gone Fulham to win at Barnsley, and I've gone Huddersfield to win on Monday night against Derby County, 2,800 to 200. On to the PSL, I've gone Chipper to win at home against Stellenbosch. I've gone Orlando Pirates to beat Bloemfontein Celtic by more than one goal. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Amazulu Bidvest Wits fixture, 3,000 to 200. Over under 2.5 total goals is all in the championship. I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Barnsley Fulham and Bristol City Leeds United games, and under 2.5 goals in the Millwall Preston, Reading Sheffield Wednesday, and Wigan Cardiff, 16-1, so 3,200 to 200. Our both teams to score fixtures are Bristol City Leeds, Stoke QPR, Swansea Hull City, Falkenberg Helsingborg, and Orebro versus IFK Gothenburg, 2,900 to 200. Our anytime goal score for the weekend, I've gone Alexander Mitrovic to score for Fulham against Barnsley. I've gone for Sam Vokes from Stoke City to score at home against QPR. And to keep all my Liverpool mates happy, I'm going Raheem Sterling to score for Man City against Liverpool in the Community Shield on Sunday. 14-1, so 2-8 to 200 is the bet. And our Collis King, 6 on Nexa. I've gone Orlando Pirates to beat Bloem Celtic. I've gone Brentford to beat Birmingham City. I've gone Man City to beat Liverpool. I've gone Ostersons to beat AFC Eskilstuna. And we end off in the MLS. I've gone San Jose Earthquakes to beat the Columbus Crew. And Seattle Sounders to beat Sporting Kansas City. 4,800 to 200. Gav, what's your play?
Well, I'm going to go with Huddersfield and
12 to 10.
I think they're a good bet, and I'm going to go with Sundowns to kickstart the PSL.
Okay, 7 at 10. Well, let's run about 3 to 1.
Yeah, 33 to 10 you should get. So I think those are two good value bets to start the season. I think a little bit of advice to the guys out there: don't go crazy and start taking 10, 12 teams. I mean, you do get lucky with your 5 rand, but find your teams and have a bigger bet rather.
Okay, and our best bet for the weekend. Fortunately, my team, Elfsborg, got lucky. They scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes to continue our good run with our best bet. And I'm going with the Seattle Sounders in the MLS on Sunday night. They won 12 of the last 15 at home, and I think they'll be too good for Sporting Kansas City. My best value bet for the weekend, I'm signing with Sheffield Wednesday to beat a Reading team. Lost a few players, haven't brought the best of players in, and 18 to 10 I think is good value. Thank you for listening, and make sure to stay on side.